Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Incoko.
The conversation. And this week we are thinking, or rather we had thought very deeply, since we digress a lot, around what topic to speak about. And this week it is friendship.
Yes, and many apologies for not dropping an episode last week. Life was lifing.
Life needs balance, as you
Life
say.
requires balance.
So, as we always do at the beginning of each episode, we can start with a furry friend check-in, no?
Oh, yes. Peanut Butter is doing well. He's a lot happier now that my dad is around. Because I think I'm not very exciting for him. But my dad, I'm so glad he's around, actually. This is about Peanut Butter, though. Peanut Butter is thriving, just so you know. He's doing very, very well. He's growing. He still sometimes just kind of lounges around the house and sleeps all day, which I appreciate because that means he's less maintenance and I don't have to worry about him at all.
As cats do.
How's Scotty? I haven't seen him.
No, Scotty's asleep on the couch behind you.
Oh, okay, there.
And he's doing this really adorable thing again where he covers his face with his paws. That's when you know he's going in on his sleep. And what I've realized is that he's following me around a lot more. And he's disturbing me. Even when I have a cigarette, he's up in my grill, wanting to be patted along the base of his tail.
So I've noticed that Peanut Butter loves the sun. So I'll leave the door open and he'll just be lounging on the floor, just sunbathing.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the evenings, what Scully does is he sits on our stoop, or what do you call it, a patio.
I don't know what you call it.
Okay. A stoop, for those that know what it is.
A veranda.
A veranda, around the evening time when the sun sets. And essentially, he just soaks up the heat in the stone. And he's gotten very good at reminding us when feeding time is.
I feel like Scotty is so pedantic about his feeding times.
Oh.
Because last time you said he was wanting to be fed earlier. I just think it's, well, obviously he always has food.
Yes.
It's the wet food that he requests.
Yes, and I mean, it's good to introduce wet food with dry food,
Yeah.
warm it up a bit, get his olfactory senses activated. But he is very adamant about it. I mean, look, there's food in his bowl, there's water in his water bowl.
And he's happy. That's why he's taking a nap.
Yeah, he's adorable.
Okay.
And so now that we've done our furry friend check-in, Chomi, what does friendship mean to you?
Yeah, that's so deep. Why do you have to ask me this question in front of Pam Gwabantu?
It's important.
So, friendship, obviously, for me, for the longest time, meant a sense of belonging. And I even had this saying I had when I was back in varsity and I was meeting so many people. And, friendships, they start off like a burning flame and then they kind of sometimes fizzle out and people outgrow each other.
Yeah.
But I always had this in mind that friendships or friends are the family that you choose. So whether or not it's for a little while, they all have a function, I believe. They all have an importance at the time that you are enjoying and experiencing them. And it's okay if they end, But yeah, for me, friendship means that little family or that big family that you are connected to, that you choose for yourself, that you invest in and spend time on and get a chance to. Because, you meet someone, right? And they compliment you. You have things in common and you bond over that. And they choose you even though you are flawed. And you haven't at the time, especially when I was meeting a lot of people, a lot of the friends that I made in varsity, you have not finished developing yet. So you're obviously gonna learn from each other and grow with each other and create memories. I think that's the most important bit. What do you think? What does friendship mean to you?
What does friendship mean to me? I've never actually had a clear definition on friendship, because each one looks so different. But what I've identified is friendship is common ground.
Yes.
But not necessarily an ideology or thoughts.
It could be.
It could be, it can be, and mostly for a functioning friendship, it needs to mostly be.
Like you have to have shared values.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. But foundationally, what I found is personhood.
Right.
I found my personhood, I see personhood in other people.
Mm.
But to call it a friendship, because I'm very pedantic about what a friendship is.
Of course.
You know, like acquaintance versus friendship.
Yes.
And that is somebody who you can rely on. Not necessarily all the time, just that, you know, when you pick up the phone, even if they don't pick up the call, that they'll call you back. And even somebody who you just send a passing message to say hi. So I guess in a way, friendship to me is a consistent relationship that is reciprocal and also allows for freedom.
That's brilliant. I think that's a great way to put it. Because I remember when I was I guess opening myself up to meeting new people. It's not that I'm not opening myself up to meeting new people now. It's just that I'm a little bit more particular now.
Yeah.
And I would prefer for me to have known you for it depends. I can know you for 2 days and feel a connection with you, but it takes a lot for me to regard you as a friend.
Yeah.
Like you said, consistency, dependability, being able to share, you know,
Yeah.
and being there for somebody through the good times and the bad times. And then you have like different forms of friendships, right? You have friendships of utility. You have friendships that like you have friends that you only go out with, or friends that you do certain things with,
Yeah.
like activities. So it's really broad. But what are we focusing on? Because I really want to hone in on this topic, because sometimes you meet people through doing other things.
Yes.
Like sometimes I have a friend that I met through work, and you have the people that you work with, obviously, like your colleagues. But when do they cross the threshold into friendship? You know,
Yeah.
because like I said, you meet people from various walks of life, through various activities and like life events and functions like that.
Yeah.
And then you find common ground, as you said, and you just, if you click, and then you see how consistent a person can be, and then over time, because all relationships need time to develop.
Tell me about it.
All relationships require the element of time to develop and to be awarded the status of whatever relationship that they end up taking in the form of, whether it's friendships, whether it's love, whether, like I said, family.
Yeah.
Over time, I believe that your friendships can become an escape or a place of refuge from, I guess, if you come from a specific kind of upbringing, friendships can actually just be a way of you growing into your own identity. Yeah.
Also a way of alleviating existential malaise, as some would say.
Yes, because wait, did you want to say something?
No, carry on. I'm interested.
Yes, because our friends, they help us through a lot. They help us grow. We learn from each other. We pick up we pick up the way we speak from each other. We pick up certain habits when we're around certain people. And you know that phrase, bad company corrupts good character.
Yes.
There's also destructive friendships.
True.
There's
True.
friendships that are completely destructive, but they serve a purpose nonetheless.
Yes.
They are there for a purpose, and they are to be respected, because
Yes.
that's where we gain most of our influences for how we lead our lives. So friendships are a very powerful, like, social structure that exists.
No, of course. And speaking of friendship, it's like this weird thing. I met somebody on Christmas, and so that's
Okay.
like only 3 months.
Right.
Or less than 3 months since meeting.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we just developed this very close, very strong friendship in a very short space in time. And in a way, we have quiet time together where we just don't have to say anything. We just sit together, or, for example, watch a series together. And it's quite a comfortable one. And in fact, I wrote a poem about it. Do you want to hear it?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay.
We love art.
This one is called I Have a Friend. I have a friend, he who is younger but sometimes seems wiser, as he, much like the earth, did in me rejuvenation birth. Just as the many mountains and trenches he did walk through the earth's wretchedness, but polished is he, much like a stone from the sea, sitting so dear in my heart, much like a divine laugh. He is a fighter, yet makes my days feel lighter, and a bruiser who makes my evenings easier. He is wholly imperfect, a reminder of my own impermanence. He is a friend without whom I now, my life, cannot imagine without.
Oh my goodness, that is a love letter.
It's a love letter, right?
That is a love letter.
Yes, because I've always had a problem with you're pretty aware of this. Mm-hmm. I've always had a very strong problem of articulating in speech what people mean to me. And I realized that that's not the best way to be. And so what I found through writing, through the writing medium, is an easier way to access clear, concise, but still conceptual frameworks with which to express my feelings.
That's brilliant. I that poem made me feel like I've been taking people for granted. Like I should be writing poems about my friends. Guys, come on.
Book number 2, friendship.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I have a friend actually who is written...
Oh, and just to clarify, Apira and I are friends.
We are
very good friends. Basically, you're my sister.
This is true. I like to think of you as my family as well. Like there are periods where we don't speak or connect for like a long time.
Yes.
But then when we do, it's like I saw you yesterday, and it's okay. It's really okay.
Yes, but you have a friend.
My friend wrote a book. My friend wrote multiple books. I think this is their 3rd book.
Oh wow!
So they
I'm
published,
so jealous.
and they're having a book signing in Cavendish at Exclusive Books.
They got into Exclusive Books?
I'm telling you.
Damn.
On the 22nd of March, which is next Saturday. So
can I come?
Yes, definitely. I was going to invite you. I just need to check my work schedule to see if I have that day off. If I don't, I just need to switch some things around. But I really would love to be there to support my friend. And this person has been there with me when I was in the trenches, like it's somebody that I could talk to, confide in, get advice from, and they don't drink.
Oh, great.
So like having like a sober friend when you're on the journey of sobriety yourself is just so it makes you feel so reassured, so loved and supported, and that you are obviously doing the right thing and in the right place. I also have another friend that we're good friends. It's just that like they're a friend that I do activities with.
Yes.
So the main activity that we would do together is go out drinking. I just have to be clear, and I just have to be honest about that. Like that is our favorite activity to do together. And we do other things, like we talk, we sit around, we get food, we chat, and we exchange like memes and stuff like that. But I know that we like the same things.
Wow, that is a loud motorcycle.
It's probably the lady with her dog.
Oh, the one who's riding with the dog in the sidecar.
I saw a lady on my way here who was riding with, what do you call that scooter? A sidecar.
Well, it's a scooter with a sidecar. Yeah.
Yeah. So the dog was in the sidecar, and she was just riding around the neighborhood. And I was just like, oh, that's normal. That's perfectly fine.
I can't believe we've become that kind of neighborhood.
Bruh, this is your near. I don't live here.
No, but what I'm saying is like, damn, I never, like, you see these things on TV. And I mean, I know it shouldn't just be on TV because, it's inspired by reality.
Obviously, art imitates life.
Like when I heard about it, I was shook. And I don't know why. I'm still investigating that feeling.
Maybe that probably is her best friend as well. Like that's another testament to friendship, doing the activities together. So my friend, yes, we do these activities together. And now that I stopped drinking, I still enjoy dancing, as you know.
Yes.
So I do enjoy.
You dance very well.
Wow, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So I went out with her, and she is always making friends. Like, she is so easygoing. Mm-hmm. And one thing about her is that, well, I have this rule. It's not a rule, really, and I think I'm going to get fetched for this, but, like, I hardly have, like, straight, cishet male friends. I don't believe in being friends with people who are attracted to you potentially. I really don't believe in it. And for me, like, I find it very hard to keep those friendships going, because at some point it becomes evident that, like, there's more to the friendships than what, is initially agreed upon. So it gets a bit tiring sometimes.
Maybe you need to put yourself in scenarios where there are people, maybe committed people, in order to allow this. But then also...
Do you think people care about commitment? Do you think these people, especially straight men, do you think they care when they're in, like, relationships? I know there are people who are obviously, like, so in love and they want to be respectful and faithful and loyal to their partners. But, like, in a situation, especially when we're talking about the environment of going out drinking, there's a lot of debauchery that happens there. Like, if you want to be debaucherous,
so passionate,
just go to a place where people are drinking alcohol and having the time of their lives, and you will see people and their true characters and their true natures.
But is it true, though, if, for example, their personality is altered by substance?
Yes, but I know a guy, like, this one is not a friend. He says he wants to be my friend, but I can tell he wants more than that. So he tells me that he's super shy when he's sober, which means he needs to be on some kind of, like, a high to be able to have a conversation with me. So every time I've seen him, he's come around and we've had conversations. And then I realized, no, man, this person has been drinking. And I'm like, I can't take you seriously because I won't know who you are. So that's also very funny because when you obviously drink, like, you have it's a mind altering substance. So are you essentially the same person, or is it like your real personality, or is it like your altered state? Like, what is it? But that's enough on so that's why I can't be friends with men.
Sounds like a great segue into the next area of the topic.
Okay.
What are your red flags?
As a friend?
Yes.
Or like friendship red flags?
Like friendship red flags.
Obviously, I think that's one of them.
Yeah.
Being a man.
Oh my gosh.
If you're a man, that's already enough of a red flag. Like,
I'm a man.
Yes, but, like, you're a queer man.
Oh, so we got fruit. We got fruity flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know.
No, I hear you. I'm
like,
not
most of the
pressure
friends I
on you.
have who are men are queer, and I like that. Like, that's just how it's always been, and I've never questioned it. I've never, wondered why. It's just natural for me. Like, I can relate to somebody because if I can relate to you, like, on an intellectual level, we can vibe, like, whether or not you're straight or gay or queer or trans or whatever. As long as we get along and we speak the same language. I think when it comes to straight men, we're not speaking the same language. They're usually trying to pull a fast one on you, or they usually just they're trying to pull, like, I don't know, like a wool over your eyes or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're usually trying to get at something, and it's unsettling once you realize. It's like once you realize as a woman that what men specifically want from you, you become disillusioned. You start regarding them almost in a way of like they are bazinyamazana when uyinyamakazi. What is uyinyamazana when bazinyamakazi? I don't know, like predator and prey. Once you realize that you are prey to these motherfuckers, you are not going to be able to be friends with them. But my friend, the one I told you about, who I go out with, she's always befriending all of the riffraff. Like, she's always like, oh,
riffraff?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like, oh, this is my friend. I'm like, how can you be friends with a man? Like, what kind of friendship is this? Like, it's going to be, but yeah, she gets along with straight men. I don't. Like, I always have like run-ins with them, and I have an attitude when it comes to them trying to talk to me, and I make it very clear that I'm not interested in being your friend.
Yeah. I think on my end, one marker of a problem that is going to recur is when somebody tells a story to me, right? Or tells me about something that happens or whatever. A moment. And then it comes back to me in very different ways from different people.
Broken telephone.
Broken telephone or deliberate subterfuge.
Okay.
And so on my end, that's when it becomes very iffy, because now it's a trust issue.
I can't trust you.
Right? It's a trust issue. But also, it's a behavior where I can't see how, if I told you something in confidence and it somehow gets out, because let's just face it, you know, some things are very difficult to keep to oneself.
Right.
That it would be reported accurately. And so accuracy, I think, is something that's very important for me in a friendship, where we don't dilly-dally. I mean, you and I, we don't mince words.
Yes, of
and
course.
we don't fight about it.
No, I always end up rubbing people the wrong way, because I say exactly what I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. I don't care how it comes across.
Exactly.
And if you can't handle it, then we're obviously incompatible, and that's really okay.
Yes.
We can just move on. You don't need me. I don't need you. Like, I don't need you. So
I don't need you. I don't need you.
Why are we struggling? Why are we not just keeping it light and moving on?
Exactly.
I think one of my red flags is a person who is not generous, like with their time, with their resources, because I know that that's what I come with, that's what I give. So I mean, it's hard to say that, you know, you want to love people unconditionally, but obviously friendship comes with, it's just like any other relationship. There are things that you expect to be treated obviously like with human decency. But like when I am constantly feeling like you are overly dependent on me and my time and my resources, but you're not openly present with yours, then I obviously that rings alarm bells in my head. Because then I start to feel like I'm being taken advantage of. I don't know if that's fair to say.
No reciprocity.
Exactly. So that's my take. I think there are a few more, but usually I'm easygoing, but also people, like you said, I think the word you're looking for is a gossip.
Yes.
So I have a friend who is a true gossip, but I appreciate her because I tell her things. But I learned at a very young age, actually, with the first group of friends that I've ever had, which were my cousins.
Yes.
That only give out information that you're comfortable with everybody knowing.
Exactly.
Because that information will be spread, and if you intended it to be a matter of confidence, that you were telling this person this thing in confidence, then obviously something is wrong with you, because why couldn't you keep it to yourself?
I mean, it's what do you mean why couldn't keep it to yourself?
Yeah, you couldn't keep it to yourself. Why do you expect me to keep it to myself?
Because it's good to share. It lightens the
exactly.
burden.
And once I hear that, I am going to share with someone else. I'm not saying I do that, but there's certain information that will be traded for certain things.
Yes.
Some friendships are built on the trading of information.
Those are some very strong friendships out there.
Exactly. So information is key. Information is king. So if I can tell you something, about myself that I don't want anyone to know, that means I am giving you the key to ruin me, pretty much.
I mean, as you know, I've always said this. No one can use anything against me because everybody knows.
Everybody knows. And everybody must know.
Everybody must know.
It's a must. And if you find out that I told someone about you, why did you tell me about it in the first place? You can't rely on me to keep your secrets. I'm your kapat and figure and fitma. You won't find that with me.
I don't know. I'm so different though. It's like people think that I'm nosy, and maybe I am, but it's not because I want to share. I just want to know.
Yes.
You know, I'm the type of person who just wants to know. I can keep it to myself.
How are we supposed to have a conversation if we don't talk? You need to tell me everything. You need to tell me everything, and I need to tell you everything. And if you decide to share that, well, tough shit. Because I told you that information. Yes, there are conversations where obviously you don't want, but that's what I said in the beginning. I learned at a very early age, only give out the information that you can comfortably, at Judgment Day, say, I said these words, so what? Like, what are you going to do?
Your Honor, verbatim. This is what came out of my mouth.
This is what I said. And I feel like that's probably an unconventional way, but there are people who are very finicky and very iffy about, their personal details. And if you're a private person, then be a private person.
Yeah.
Don't share.
Yeah.
Write a journal.
No, but
Write in your journal.
I write in a journal, and I also do share, because I think there's a human instinct, right? Maybe not with. Okay, I'm not gonna give a psychological analysis on other forms of neurodivergency, but I think there's something intrinsically human about sharing.
Yeah.
Because there's that idea of, once it's out of you, once you've articulated it, once you articulate, you make sense of it, and once you make sense of it, you're able to accept it. You know, so I think sharing is a very important thing, especially in friendships.
Yes.
But also, like, know your friends.
Yes.
Know your friends.
Know exactly. Know your audience. Know who you're talking to. Know who you're talking to. Don't just now talk. Nah, bruh. Your information will be spread, and you will be the one that is at fault, because you can't. Yes, you can hold people to a certain standard. It's natural to want people to be loyal and faithful, you know. And there are friendships that are like that, and that's why I think when it comes to friends versus family, or friendships to family, like that the time that you've known each other, it's not really an indicator of loyalty. So you can know somebody for your whole life, and they can do something that obviously just this does away with everything that you've built together.
I'm familiar with
as
that.
as a friend. And like your friend that you just met, that you wrote about, like you said, you only met them like 3 months ago, but you're able to rely on them, to share with them, to care for them in a very deep and profound way.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of being open, because let me describe how we actually first met.
Okay.
Al, my spouse, was DJing at this event here in Woodstock, and she was doing the opening set. So the opening set is generally very empty, but she was doing wonders. I was sitting on the couch, because I love to sit on the couch when I go out. I dance every now and again, but you know what? Sometimes I love just to sit and listen to the music.
Yes.
And have a good time in the presence of good music. And I see these two walk in, and I don't know what possessed me. Maybe it's the ancestors, but I just waved, and I told them to come over to sit on the couch. And the one was hesitant, but the other, their brothers, immediately came over. And that is the beginning of that friendship.
Oh.
You know, an openness to actually meet each other.
Yes, I think I like that. Yeah, it's part of the reason why I'm still single and not married at this point. I really want a husband or a wife. It's okay with me. It's really okay with me. I really want a partner, and I say this in my prayers when I talk about this person. I say I'm looking for, and I need, and I'm requesting, if it is part of God's will, God's plan for me, a destiny helper. Somebody who's not going to make me feel like it's a chore to love and be loved.
But love is work.
Yes, but like there's work and then there's chores.
What is it about people trying to separate work into these various components? Like,
I'm so sorry.
if you do something you're passionate
I know you're
about,
married. I know you are already with
no,
with
but
spouse.
besides that, I don't know why people have this aversion to the word work. Work is not a dirty word.
It's not a dirty word, of course, but like, I wouldn't know because I'm not married. So I want to find out. Like, that's what I'm saying. I would like to find out. Like,
but it's not just marriage. It's relationships. Relationships are work.
That's true.
You put in the work,
own frequency. I'm not negating the work element of it, but like, I'm kind of.
You don't want to feel burdened.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that it comes naturally, the work aspect. I don't want it to feel like I'm forced to do something.
Okay.
I want to willingly engage in this mutual workmanship.
Yes.
That we are doing together.
Yes.
You know, I want to feel like we are creating a life together that is mutually beneficial, and you know, we like each other as people.
And also be friends.
Be my best friend. Be my best friend, please. Like, I want somebody who's going to be able to say, you know what, I choose you.
And so, on that note, now we choose to end this episode of Incoko.
The conversation. I'm Apiwe Mtwagu.
And I am Siseko Mawe.
And see you next time.
Next week, hopefully. Yay! Bye all.
Bye.